at how we can pull back the curtain and ask some comfortable but necessary questions to just have a quick dialogue about how we can constantly push ourselves to do more and actually bring us closer to our goals. How we can slowly drain the life out of ourselves while we persevere to strive for much greater things. Have we confused ambition with self-sacrifice? What does success look like when we strip away comparison, pressure, performance, etc.? Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Life Talk for the Bami. Today we want to look at the topic I titled the also culture debate. Today I have with me someone that you're all familiar with, Chief of Lagos. Chief, how you doing now? How you doing, man?
I'm good, my bro. Good to be back. I'm hearing we're going to do a shorter one today, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Chief is someone I can always count on, and I really appreciate him anytime. He's always a vibe anytime he's here. You know,
We try.
now the also cultural debates. Everywhere we turn today, the message seems to be the same: work harder, grind longer, stay hungry, because somebody out there wants your sports. Also, culture has woven itself into our routines, our ambitions, even our identities. We hear exhaustion like a medal. We celebrate being booked and busy as if rest is a luxury reserved for the weak. But beneath the aesthetics of productivity, the motivational quotes, the 5 a.m. routines, the endless to-do list, and there are quieter truths many are afraid to admit. Sometimes the grind doesn't just feel empowering, it feels suffocating. Today, we want to look at how we can pull back the curtain and ask some comfortable but necessary questions. We want to just have a quick dialogue about how we can constantly push ourselves to do more and actually bring us closer to our goals. How we can slowly drain the life out of ourselves while we I want to feel like persevere to strive for much greater things. So have we confused ambition with self-sacrifice? And most importantly, what does success look like when we strip away comparison, pressure, performance, etc.? This episode is not about shaming and work. It's about balance. It's about honesty. It's about reclaiming our humanity in a world that wants more. So I want you to settle in and take a deep breath. You don't need to also your way through this conversation. Let's unpack the real culture and the real cost of also culture, and we discover what it means to live and not just walk alone. You know, we have to live our lives. Chief, thank you so much again
Thank you for having me.
for coming. Honestly, it's always a vibe. Like I said, it's always a vibe having you around. So I just want to quickly ask, what does also culture actually mean? Like, especially for us that grew up in Nigeria, what do you feel like it entails?
What are you looking at? You're looking away from the camera.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Um, okay. What does hustle culture mean, man? Hustle culture. Just to break down the two words, right? It's about the culture of hustling. It's the current you mentioned one word there, peer pressure, social conformity we have around the constant need to be doing something in the pursuance of money.
Mm-hmm.
Um and maybe not in the pursuit of money, because for some people that already have the money, you see that they're still hustling. We really find out that it's not that we're pursuing money, we are pursuing
Mm.
um the word came to my head but it just left briefly. We're pursuing the,
Luxury.
I don't want to call it status, not status, because it's deeper than status. We're pursuing the right to be a human being. I
Oh,
won't even call it luxury.
okay.
I won't even call it luxury. See, especially for black people,
Mm.
we as this is some of the effects of colonialism, neo-colonialism and slavery.
Okay.
Um, we don't have that mentality that we are enough in just being. We have the mentality, especially the men, we have the mentality that we have to be something in order to be a human being. in order to be appreciated, in order to be loved, in order to be respected, just as a human being. I'm not even saying Odogu level or billionaire level or millionaire level. Just you just being you just existing is not enough. A lot of us have to have this constant chase, constant pursuit of something before we can be validated in terms of our existence. So for me, it's deeper than status. For me, it's deeper than luxury. For me, it's deeper than um any of these other things people like to. It's deeper than money.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think just to be without being someone that is chasing or pursuing is really not enough. You have to have some form of hustle. That's why in the society that we live right now, it's very, very scary, because what are old people in this society? You find out that you can find out that a lot, especially in this part of the world, old people are not respected because they cannot provide like they used to provide when they are younger. They are dependent, same as kids. um so old people are just chucked in old homes because they don't add value to any society anymore. So even people that are supposed to look after their elderly, they don't live with them anymore because they cannot pay rent. So they chuck them in an old home, and nobody looks after them. Unlike back in older African societies, whereby we used to respect our elderly, we used to take care of our old, we used to take care of the sick, we used to take care of the kids. Now provisions are not really being made for anybody that is not contributing something to society, that's not
Yeah,
hustling.
yeah.
So that's what hustle culture means to me, and that's what we're trying to debunk today.
And so, like, is there a difference between the also culture in the West and developing countries like like Nigeria versus here in the UK, or in Africa versus
Oof.
here in the
That's a beautiful question. That's a beautiful question, because when you're tackling these issues, you really have to take into the different geographical beliefs and kind of cultures around it. It's not really an all-in-one thing. We'll talk about three cultures, I guess, because I think that there will be the three ones that we are very conversant with based on me and you's life experiences: the Nigerian culture, the UK culture, and the US culture. The US culture we have, that's the global culture that we are all exposed to through social media and movies and Hollywood and things like that, right?
yeah.
So, in terms of the differences between those cultures, I would say for the Nigerian culture, we have a confusion, an identity confusion. We have a mix of our traditional African beliefs and importation from the West, right? And the British colonial effects and the American or Hollywood effects. So it's all mixed into one that we don't even know what we are. It's a mix, right? In British, they kind of know what they are. They are more monarchical socialists that that participates in capitalism. In the US, it's more business capitalist, whereby that's where you really see the final form of the hustle culture mindset. That's the US, right? So these three countries or three cultures are different perspectives of the same thing. There's still hustle culture in all three of them, but it's different and I'll highlight the differences just briefly. In the Nigerian mindset, right? We live in a survival hustle culture. I have to hustle to survive, right? And then if I can break out of survival, then I can now enter. It's now my choice if I want to stay in middle class in just being okay, or I want to become an odogu, I want to become a chief, I want to become, and that usually involves corruption in some way. We'll get to that later. In the UK culture, they have a socialist system as the foundation. So things
Mm,
like healthcare are taken care of. Things like there's free education, there
benefits.
is benefits, exactly. So you don't once you attain citizenship status, or if you are a traditional, like a historical Brit, you don't really have that grind mindset like the US, because you know your base needs are covered for. However, we live in, it's a very oppressive society because it's monarchical, right? So
Yeah.
if you're not of royalty, and you're not of the big banks, you're not from those ancient, what they call them, old money type families, right?
Mm,
If you are trying to improve your status, there's that extra also that you have to go and break through. There's a glass ceiling that you kind of have to break through in the UK, because it's not accessible to everyone that is not from those old old money, as they like to call it.
Yeah.
The US is more like a a storybook scenario in terms of they sell you a dream, but in actuality, it's not as easy as it seems,
Mm.
right? In the US, there is the culture of everybody can make it. All you need is $1 and a dream, right? If you hustle hard enough, work 4 5 jobs, you can make it out of the hood, you know. And it's sold to everyone, but in reality, it's much harder than it seems. And
Mm.
also for capitalism to work, which is kind of the driver behind this hustle culture, some people have to be poor. So it's just the truth. So you
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
work and work, and nothing for you, right? Nothing for you. If you are doing the wrong thing, if you don't have the right connections, if you're not doing the right work, if you're not working smart, if you're not playing politics, there are so many dynamics. Yeah, and if you're not lucky, and probably some people call it if God is not on your side, right? There's so many things that have to fall in line, not just your hustle. So yes, there's a dream, there's the American dream, but there is no guarantee that you will achieve that dream.
Yeah,
You know, so
that,
those are the differences.
that's what I wanted to ask you next. There's an American dream. Is there a Nigerian dream?
Ah! You have actually killed me.
There's
There's
an,
a Nigerian dream. It's called 419. There's a Nigerian dream, man. It's called having big pot belly and sleeping with Unila girls and and going to club and buying a Lamborghini and driving on rough road. It's a Nigerian dream. Is it a wonderful dream? I don't think so. Some people really like it. And don't get me wrong, man. If you have money in Nigeria, it's a very good place to be. But the problem with Nigeria is that we don't have elites. So it's very, very hard to get to the top stratosphere of Nigeria, of the Nigerian society, by being diligent, by being hardworking, by being a professional. Uh, you usually have to participate in
I won't
corruption in
don't
some
have
way.
elite. I'll say the elites are just to me in a word useless because they don't help anybody.
But that's if you,
Don't,
you
they
can't be
don't even
useless
help.
and be an elite. That's the thing. That's the total. So elite means you are the best of us. That's what elite actually means. It
Okay,
does not mean you are the richest.
okay.
But in Nigeria, a lot of our elites cannot use computer. A lot of our elites cannot run down the stairs. That's not the best of us, bro. It's not the best of us. So I won't consider them elite. I don't think we have elite. When we look at
You
the
consider
the
them the
American elite, we have the likes of Elon Musk, Bill Gates. These people, even though they are corrupt, we know they are corrupt, right? But they are known for something.
yeah
They are
for
good at
innovating
things.
something.
They brought something to society. When we look at, I don't want to call any names, but I don't want to attack any individual person today. I'm not in the mood. But when we look at the Nigerian society, bro, who are these elites? Who are these best of us? Is it the accountant general that is supervising them swallowing snake, a snake swallowing 100 million? Is that the best accountant we have to offer? Is it our footballers that could not qualify for World Cup? Is it when we look around the society? Is it NFF? Is it these musicians that cannot compete global? Is it Dangote that is cement cannot compete I said I don't want to call any names. I said I don't want to call. Let me relax. Let me not get heated. But
Because
we don't have elites.
like
We
we're
don't.
supposed for the audience, we're supposed to record on Sunday. She said they want to watch Nigerian match.
Bro, don't even get me started, man. And did you gave me hope. You gave me hope. You said we are going to qualify. You trust Osimhen.
Guy,
Osimhen, Osimhen
he
injured
said,
halftime.
do you know what? I feel like I blame myself because I've not been watching their games
Yeah.
and they were winning. My friend also said, watch the I was talking to my friend Emmanuel, it was supposed to be on the call, but I think he's busy or something. But like he said, okay, well, we're just like on the video call, and he said, okay, just watch penalty shootout with me now. Let's see how it be now.
Kai.
No. I saw the
Embarrassing. They told a center back to go and take our first penalty, man. Nigeria will not kill me, man.
I
Nigeria
saw
will
that
not
a
kill me.
guy Calvin go
Nigeria will not kill us. It will not kill us. So yeah, man, we don't have elites, my guy.
it's really disheartening actually. Yeah, I get your point. When like me, like, I understand. Yes, elite means the best of us, but when like there's some people that are still let me say considered the best of us, like the people that come together to develop the banking industry. But
Nah, it's
but
corrupt.
wait.
Have
What
you
I'm,
read the story of the banking industry? It's where I used to work. It's
no,
corrupt.
I know. But when you now came in cahoots with the politicians, is where everything went,
Yeah, it's
horribly.
a choice. It's a choice they
Yeah,
all made.
I get that. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
So,
So I
so
can't call. I get what you're trying to say, though. Don't get me wrong, but like that's yeah, they're the only people we have. So you kind of have to call them our elite, just virtue of their position.
this guy was
But
saying
I
professionals.
would. It's a personal protest. I wouldn't consider them my elite. Those are not the best Nigerians we have to offer.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
definitely.
they exist, but they're not given chances. Our
Yeah,
elites are outside the country. Our elites are in UK. Our elites are in US. Our elites are in Canada. Those are where our elites are, but they are not in the Nigerian society because they will not be allowed to thrive in the Nigerian society.
I get that, my guy. I get that. I remember this the story of this Kemi Adeosun, former Minister of Finance, that actually, was a very top person here in the UK and went back home to become Minister of Finance just because she won't toe the line
They
or
nearly killed her.
they does be as in it's so funny.
There was a partner in my firm. I won't name names, but he went on to hold a very good big position in the finance system in Lagos State.
Mm,
And when he came back, after one term he ran back to continue working for keep. Oh, sorry, I almost said the name of my firm, but he ran back to continue working for the firm, for the organization. So, bro, the stories that he told us when he got back, my guy,
I,
you don't want to know, man. You don't want to know how they frustrated this man trying to bring, good practices to
nobody is sending
a
message.
rubbish industry. No,
Nobody,
but they don't care about you, my G.
that's what they say. Now nobody sending message. You just come and chop your own and go. Nobody has to come and rehabilitate anybody here. Nobody send you message.
Yeah.
Nobody asks you. Chief, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wanted to go to the psychological and social impact of this
Yeah, the
culture.
hustle culture itself,
So
yeah.
like, why do we think people equate their worth with
Hmm.
productivity?
That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Why do people equate their worth with productivity? Like, okay, if I work this hard, I will gain. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, if I work this hard, I'll gain this amount of reward per se, and it's not like that most times. So like, and again, what are now some warning signs that we can see that also culture is also becoming toxic?
Yeah. Um so yes, this is a very, very important thing, and we got a bit sidetracked because we entered the Nigeria Wahala. There's no end to that conversation. So let's stay on personal
Yeah,
and
yeah. I don't,
individual psychology. The truth is, at the end of the day, the hustle culture is toxic,
mm,
and it's a psychological attack on our mental. And the reason why it exists, I won't dwell too much of it on it, but the reason why it exists is because of the corporations and the political systems that we live in. Because it's a psyop that you need to keep working so that you can keep this system running. Because if we have the elites on one side, the richest people in society on one side, and they sell you this dream that if you work hard enough, you'll get there. But the truth is that most of them do not get there by working hard; they go there by exploiting.
mm,
So a lot of us need to work hard to keep this system running so that a few people can have a lot of money. So they constantly sell you that dream. So how do you get out of this constant warfare? Because there's also the other side of it in that you need money to survive. You need resources to live a good life, not just to survive, to thrive. You want to travel, you want to take care of your family, you want to take care of your friends, you want to buy some of the nice things. And this is where you have to be very careful, because in as much as you have to understand what is necessary. What do I need money for? And what do I want money for? Or what do I want resources for? What do I need status for? And what do I want status for? What usually happens to people is that, so for example, you start off a job that you like, a passion, maybe out of passion or out of necessity. You start doing something and you become good at that thing and you start getting paid. But when you start getting paid, what do? You then start to inflate your lifestyle to match your payment, the money you are collecting.
mm.
And this is where a lot of people run into danger. I've run into danger myself in this particular this thing. In fact, there's a particular tool they even use you to get stuck in this part of the world. It's called debt. They use it to get stuck in it. Once they see you start making money, they offer you credit, and once they offer you credit, you think that you can spend more than you earn, or you can live more than you're collecting, and then you enter this
Yeah.
debt cycle. So you need to understand early on what are the things I need and what are the things I want. And you need to make sure you are not working to fend for the things you want too early. And you need to make sure that you get to a position whereby you can take care of the things you need and you can afford to say, okay, I'm not going to work anymore. Okay, I'm not going to work. I'm going to take a break for 3 months and nothing will happen. I'm going to take a break for 1 month and nothing will happen. You need to first make sure your necessity is taken care of. And in doing that too, you need to, from where we come from, you need to be very careful of black tax. While you're still finding your feet, you don't want to go and take care of all your old village people, because my brother, you need to invest in yourself and make sure that you have something that you can stand on and you can rely on for years to come.
Yeah.
So you need to provide yourself with security. Once you have a sense of security, then you now have to start. We've talked about this in the wonderful episode with Corex. You can go check that out. When you look at that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, yes, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs,
yeah.
you find out that once you've provided for your basics, you start to want things like love, you start to want things like status, and you start to want things like self-fulfillment. People usually confuse those things, those three things I talked about: love, status, and self-fulfillment. They want to use money to cover all those three things. They want to use money to chase love, they want to use money to chase status, and they want to use money to chase fulfillment. Forgetting that you can get all these things without money. You can get genuine love by being a loving person. You can get status by being of actual value to the people around you. And that's not just by money. That's by showing up for people. That's by being there for people. That's by... Have you called your mom today? Have you called your sister today? Have you gone to visit your sister? Have you visited someone that is sick? That there are so many tangible things you can be without money, right? Although money helps a lot, don't get me wrong, in terms of chasing status, but there's so many things you can do. If you're from a politically distraught nation, can you participate in your politics? If you have a skill, can you provide that skill for free? If you're a lawyer, can you help people in law cases, all right? That cannot necessarily afford your service. So that's status. You get status. And also by being an elite, at what you do too, is something. So and that doesn't always necessarily come from hustle. It just comes from being good at things, And then the last part of it is self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is really that, okay, am I doing what I want to do with my life, right? We've talked about that we've had so many episodes now, DJ. I'm proud. But we've talked about that in the purpose episode. Okay, that was the same episode with Corex.
Beyond spotlight, yeah.
Yes, purpose, exactly. In aligning with your purpose, are you doing a job because it's to pay the bills, or are you doing a job because you are genuinely passionate about it? Is that your ikigai? So things like that is really where you can start to override that money factor, but you will never get to that level if you've not covered for your needs. So you need to make sure as a person you have your needs covered and you have security in your life. And once you've gotten that, then you can chase those three things independent of money. So that's what I think. The other part of it is rest and self-care.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about that in the previous episode. Just to touch on that quickly. Rest is very, very important. Don't go and hustle and kill yourself, my brother. You need to take time off. You need to take breaks. You need to take care of yourself, bro. So if you are ever feeling like, I was supposed to have this podcast with Deji yesterday, I told him I have a headache, so let's do it tomorrow. That is very valid and that's very important. Deji was so kind to postpone and to put a schedule around me and to help me. Things like that are very, very important. Know when to take breaks, know when to take care of your health, eat well, exercise well, sleep well, and rest. Rest both for your mental and physical is very important. And those are the ways. It's very avoidable because there's a lot of peer pressure and social pressure, but those are the ways you can combat it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm always flexible. Like, I want to walk around my guest time.
Thank you.
And their, how do they put that in, their comfortability is what is most paramount to me. I don't want anybody to come here and be frowning and be...
I know, right? Because I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be so moody if I jump on. And I appreciate you guys on the Juice podcast a lot. So I wanted to bring my best, so I appreciate
So
it.
the last point, because I said I told him we just want to use 30 minutes to just talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No yapping for me today, so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we want to talk about the finding the work life balance. You know, we talk about the myth of a perfect balance. Is it more about reading than equality? Setting boundaries, learning to say no without being guilty, the role of faith, mindfulness, or rest, like you said, in grounding ambition, building sustainable, successful habits, working smart, not just hard. You know, responsibility in preventing yourself from being burned out from
Yeah, okay. That's why
several.
you wanted to interrupt me because it was the next question.
Yeah, that's why I said
Sorry, I already touched on that.
life balance realistic, or is it just another word that people like to put in their vocabulary to make themselves feel good? And how do you personally protect your peace? So that's just the last question. How do you personally protect your peace from this also culture? Like you said something about black tax, and I've also been I've also been guilty of that in some way. It had to take my parents to call me to order to say, no, 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 no. You can't be too kind to people like this.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself first
Yeah,
because
you can't be too
in
kind to people like this.
in
But
your excess you can then take care of others, not
so
the
what are
other
the
way around.
steps from personally protecting your peace when it comes to situation of this also culture?
Mm.
And how realistic is the work-life balance in relation to this modern day that we are?
Thank you, Deji. That's a beautiful question. I like the way you framed it. In terms of work-life balance, I don't think work-life balance exists. Because I don't think life is really ever balanced. If you look at any high achiever, they have to, for a period of time, sacrifice a lot of things for them to achieve the results they want. So I don't believe in balance. I believe in priorities. And in terms of what is priority at the time, it just depends on what you want in life. See, at the end of the day, right? Let's not get it twisted. If you want to be the best musician that ever sang, you are going to have to work like the best musician that's ever sang. So what people need to do is align their lives to their purpose, to what they want to achieve. Um, um, for and also for example, best musician is even a far example. If you want to be the best dad you can possibly be, that's a lot of sacrifice you will have to do for your kids. A
Mm,
lot of things might have to be sacrificed. The only thing you can do is you don't want to be too extreme about anything. Like things you never want to sacrifice. Your health, again, is very important. And that covers your sleep, your diet, exercising, and your mental health. There's so many more. I'm trying to simplify, but there's so many more aspects to it. But at the end of the day, I don't believe in balance. Somebody can argue with this with me later. Maybe we can set up a debate on this with some other people. But I don't believe like you can ever really balance things. I believe that you only have to take care of what is priority at the time. And identifying what is priority depends on what you want to achieve. Quick story before we move up on this. Deji, as you know, I finished my icon while I was in school, right?
yeah.
Um, I had to sacrifice part of my social life and part of my sleep and part of my um degree results. I could have finished with a first class if I wasn't doing the icon. But I ended up finishing with a second class upper. I was on first class till about year 3 when I was doing my final icon exams. And I was at the crossroad of, okay, what do I do? There was no balance, right? Because I had 3 choices, right? I could either die with academics and not have a social life at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And try to achieve both first class and icon. I could have had a social life, fuck icon and say and get my first class. Or I could have um sacrificed, had all 3 and not slept. And not eating well and not slept. Bro, body no be firewood. I said something has to suffer. A part of it was my Unilag degree. Right? Because as you know, Deji, my social life did not suffer. You know me from school. My social life did not suffer. So I was always active. So for me, what was the balance there? How could I have balanced it? Could I say half social life, half icon. Like it's not going to work. Like passing icon was not beans. Like it is a lot of overnights. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of grind, right?
Oh,
Getting a first class is not beans. Anybody from our class that got a first class can let you know. It's a lot of ass leaking, a lot of projects, a lot of assignments, a lot of attendance in class. There are so many aspects to getting a first class degree from the greatest school in Nigeria, Unilag, right?
yeah.
And the greatest course in Unilag, accounting.
The
You
greatest.
know, there are so many things. Some people were able to do it, but they didn't have a social life. Some people were able to do all three, but they didn't have sleep, right? But
Yeah,
I had to choose what. I'm not saying any of those options are wrong. Again, like I said, what do you
it's your
want?
preference.
Thank you. It's your preference, it's your purpose, what is your mission, what is your vision of how you want to live your life, right? What a lot of people are suffering is that they do not know what their purpose, vision, and mission is. So as a person, you need to first ask yourself, what do I want? Not what other people want for me. Because see, that's where depression comes in. Is you need to sit down and say, what do I want? Because you don't want to look back at yourself when you are 80 and say, I wish I did this. I wish I did this. That's the worst thing you want to say when you're old, and that's how I live my life. I prioritize based on what I don't want to regret not doing later. So that's the quick story I wanted to share with the pod.
Oh, thank you. So how do you now personally protect your peace? For the final question, because you've not still answered that question.
Oh, sorry, I
How
missed
do you
that.
now
Yeah.
protect your peace from this constant grinding, this constant also,
Mm,
especially if you're a man. No shade on the female gender. The also culture has to do with the men that has to go and provide for their family. People are
yeah,
depending on you. People are depending on you to be this, to do that, to
yeah.
provide for them. A
It's
lot of
it's again it's something that we've talked about in the past, DG.
yeah,
It's setting boundaries. So it's first of all, when you not know your purpose, when you know your vision, when you know your mission, what is going to happen is life is going to drag you and force you in things that are not aligned. Maybe your dad is going to say, I want a first class. Maybe your babe is going to say, I want us to go out more. Maybe your okay, I'm talking about my unisex. Let me talk about most people that are working now. Maybe your family is going to say, we need more money. Maybe your child is going to say, or your child is going to cry. So things are going to come and drag you. Maybe your boss is saying, we need more hours at the office. You know, it's about setting boundaries. And how do you set boundaries? Sorry, I can't do that. Sorry, I can't do that. I'm doing this. I have this. I need to go pick up my child from school. I cannot miss his closing time. I want to be a good father. I need babe, I need to spend extra hours in the office. I want to be a good worker. Once you know what you want in life, you need to set boundaries about it. You have to say no to some things
yeah,
because you cannot have everything. Again, that's why I do not believe in the concept of balance. Everything relates. I don't believe in the concept of balance because you cannot satisfy everything. You can only choose the things that you want, and then you have to say no to others. Focus is key. Setting boundaries is key, and that is how you protect your peace.
Thank you so much, Chief. I really appreciate. Anytime you come around, it's always like a vibe. Like I said in the beginning,
Thanks, man.
it's always a vibe. And to wrap up
Like,
this year, I'm trying to
yeah,
like bring just you and two other guests of mine so that we can talk about
yeah, yeah,
2025, what happened. Even for me myself, a lot of things changed this year.
yeah.
Trusting God for the new year and many many means.
Your growth has been amazing, by the way, bro. I appreciate the grind set. Every time I see your post, I'm always happy, man. So keep up the
Yeah,
good work,
I
man. And let's
yeah,
end the year on the
are
bank.
the guests are the ones that made this thing possible. Because when I wanted to start this, first of all, I was shy, I was timid, I was like, oh my
Yeah, I
god.
can see. I can see your chest is out now.
I was saying, how will I do this thing for the camera? So,
Yeah,
like, what I sent to you to see that, okay, to see what we're thinking of next year to do,
check, check.
yeah, so to bring much more viable content, to be able to be more professional. This year was like, okay, was a test run. Next year is going to be a banger by God's
Hmm.
grace. Everything that we want to put in place to make sure that, yes, we bring out the best content. We are
Yeah,
starting to work towards it now.
yeah,
So, Chief, thank you so much. Honestly, I know that it's not easy coming back from work,
bro.
answering to come here again. Even me self, I understand that it be.
It's okay, my guy. It's okay.
And now that it's already
It's
time,
part of the grind set, the hustle.
and that's we're already the winter. We're already the winter, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
Today
so
was
now,
the coldest day of the year, by the way, in London.
yeah,
Did you feel it? Bruh, it was cold. It was 1 degree this morning and
yeah,
3 degrees for
sure,
the rest
I
of the
feel
day.
it.
Coldest day in London. Bruh, I can see you
Oh,
still have your jumper on too.
uh, thank God, say you see, you said, did I feel it?
Yeah, my house is very insulated, so it's a bit warm in
Ah,
here.
God. One thing I like about this, one thing I like about the weather is that it makes me fresher. It makes my skin fresher. Apart from
Yeah.
that, bro, I don't like this cold at all.
Yeah, the cold is bad, bro. It is
Yeah, I
very
don't.
bad. It is actually very bad.
Oh
That's
God.
so
So
tiring, man.
thank you so much. As like I always say, as we wrap up today's conversation, one thing becomes clear. Hustle isn't the enemy, like Chief said. Losing ourselves isn't it also? Somewhere along the way, productivity becomes the new identity, and
Mm,
burnout becomes a quiet epidemic people are too tired to talk about. Like he says, doesn't believe in work-life balance. But success was never meant to feel like a race without a finish line. It was never meant to cost you your mental health, your relationships, or your joy. Like he said, true success is sustainable. It is intentional, and it honors both ambition and rest. If you take one thing from this conversation today, let it be this: your value is not measured by how exhausted you are.
exactly.
It is not like I don't work, I gotta go work, I don't tire. No.
No.
Rest doesn't make you weak, also it makes you old. Imagine what you could build if we weren't constantly running on empty gas.
Yeah.
Imagine what life look like if
Yeah.
we pursued alignment instead of pressure.
Yeah.
So as we step back today, let us, reflect on how we want our life to be in the next 30, 40, 50 years. You deserve a life that feels good on the inside, like Chief said, not just the one that looks good on the outside. So I want to thank you also for spending time with us. Keep working hard, but also keep resting deeply. Keep showing up, but remember you are allowed to slow down. Until next time, choose peace just as boldly as you choose productivity. So thank you
Facts.
so much, Chief, for coming. I really appreciate it. I know I said 30 minutes, but this is 7 minutes over the top.
It's
But
okay, man. It's okay. One thing though,
yeah,
I want to ask your audience something, Deji.
okay,
I
what's
want
up?
to ask them because there was no much back and forth in this conversation. So let us know where you disagree, right? Did
Yeah,
I get it wrong on anything? In the comment section, I want to see more comments. This episode is a shorter episode, so I expect more comments, right? So let us know what are the challenges that you face in terms of not being able to avoid this hustle culture, not being able to protect your boundaries, right? Why do you feel you have to do more to identify? Right? Where do you disagree in what I or DJ have said? So let us know in the comments, man. I'll be reading them. Did you be reading them?
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to your arguments.
That's something we want to look at from next year. Like we read comments from previous episodes and try to tackle the questions that people have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good
Also,
one.
so sorry guys, because I think I made a mistake this year that I don't like the people that I invite. I don't always collaborate with them on Instagram.
Yeah,
So when this episode drop, I'll collaborate with Chief. So you can also drop it on his own Instagram comments, and
yeah.
and work around that. So thank you so much.
Looking forward to seeing them, guys.
Yeah, till we see you again next week. Bye. Thank you.